And welcome back to Carver Arena in downtown Peoria. Hales Franciscan, #1 in the state, to take on Robinson, and 7-footer Myers Leonard coming up here for a trip to the state championship game on the IHSA TV network. Lee Hall, Cliff Cameron at our National Association of Realtors studios, and it was all you, wasn't it? The slam dunk champion from Pleasant Plains. I mean, come on.
I'm proud of him. I can't take credit for him. I think he has some God-gifted jumping ability. So I was very proud he got dunks down. And this is his 3rd year in the contest, on the competition, and it was just nice to see him win.
As a coach, how much fun is it? I mean, your season ends, but your players still going, and that's got to be a little bit fun for you.
Oh, it's fun. You know, it's fun. It'd be more fun if our team was playing, of course.
Sure.
But if you can't do that, we had a boy in the three-point, Dustin Myers, in the three-point competition yesterday, and then to have Logan win the slam dunk competition. That's awful nice.
All right, the folks from Robinson are getting fired up for game 2 here. Let's talk a little bit about game 1 here in 2A. Peoria Manual. Boy, they've struggled as much as I've seen them struggle this year, and give Breeze Central a lot of credit.
Yeah, I have to give Breeze Central a lot of credit. They came out in the 4th quarter, and they were playing a little bit of a 1-2-2 or a 3-2 zone, which seemed like Manual struggled a little bit against. I thought the Book kid had a pretty good second half. Grapper House had some foul trouble. Not Grapper House, but Gaffner had some foul trouble. But pressure defense for Manual was just too much to overcome. Central did shoot better, and they didn't have as many turnovers in the second half, so it made it a close game.
Right, and Peoria Manual, you talk about, you expect a guy like Marvin Jordan, a senior, to maybe go to the line and make some clutch free throws there down the stretch. But Jeff Stokes, the sophomore, I mean, that,
right.
I mean, that tells you a little bit of something about a kid, a program. You know, if they're playing for Manual, it doesn't matter if they're a freshman, sophomore, senior. They're capable.
Right,
no
they're
doubt.
capable. They got to be ready to play, and so it proved tonight. They had a lot of people step up and make the big free throws. But Alexander Lawrence did have a real good game, though.
Yes, he did, and he's a tough guy to stop. There's not a lot to him.
Right.
He's not a big kid.
Real physical, but
right.
Yeah, right. But he had real good shoot. He can pull up off the jump shot off the dribble, and so he had a real good game.
Yeah, tough play there at the end of the game. I know Stan Eagleson wanted a 3 to tie, and that's just
with no timeouts left.
Right, heat of the game, unfortunate to see.
Unfortunate was. But there's no timeouts left, and he goes in and takes the 2, and then Manual could just run the clock out. So it was unfortunate.
All right, well, that's Peoria Manual clinging to the 1-point win here tonight. 37, or check that, a 2-point. Is that a final stat sheet right there?
This is a final stat sheet right here.
It was a 1-point game, I was right. 39-38.
Yes.
There's a lot going on here.
Right.
39-38, it was a 1-point final for Peoria Manual, and they take on the winner of Hales Franciscan and Robinson coming up next here from Peoria as we get ready for our 2A semifinal nightcap. Back after this local timeout. And we're back at Carver Arena in downtown Peoria, and to give you a little idea of where our two teams hail from here. Hail from, get it? Hales Franciscan, no pun intended. Robinson down in the, oh, look at this. We've got Google Earth going here. Well, in case you didn't know where Chicago is, we're diving right into it here. There's Hales Franciscan. Looks like there's quite a traffic jam right there in the neighborhood.
No traffic up there. Probably more there.
But I wonder if the traffic's as bad in Robinson, way down there in the southeast corner of Illinois. Close, just as close to Indiana about as you can get. And they come in here highly touted, and Chicago Hales Franciscan, of course, from the big city of Chicago and Cook County. Their enrollment 528. They play in that Chicago Catholic League, and you know, it didn't get much tougher than that. Robinson, their population a little bit different there, 2.8 million, 6,300 in Crawford County. Enrollment of 504 in the Apollo Conference. And Hales Franciscan, we've seen a lot of Chicago small school, Catholic school teams come down here and do very well. Chicago Leo, we saw another Seton Academy come down here last year and win. We've seen Gary London come down here and win a couple of times and have one taken back. So this is the kind of a team that's really made a niche for itself in 2A over the years.
They sure have. They've been here before. I remember a few years ago also. They played a very tough schedule up in the Chicago Catholic League. Pat Miller, All-Stater, and also Jamie Adams, two seniors are going to lead them tonight.
All right, and then when you look at Robinson, well, it all begins and ends with Myers Leonard, although he's got plenty of help, too.
He sure does. I went to see him play Tuesday night at the Super Sectional in Springfield. They had a poor first half, both Myers Leonard and Ben Jones. Ben Jones was awesome in that second half. He had 29 points, but Myers Leonard also had a very good second half.
This is an interesting matchup here tonight, and how do you see this one going?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. Like the first one I thought was interesting. With Robinson, if they can get him the ball, and also if Ben Jones can have another big game like he did the other night, hopefully it'll be a good game. But I know Hales is going to have an awful lot of athleticism for Robinson to contend with.
Myers Leonard, of course, a lot of people excited to see him play at Illinois next year. He's a 7-foot guy. 225, 230, still got a lot of room to put some muscle on that bone.
He sure does. A lot of people are comparing him to Mike Tisdale, who was in our same conference, so I had a chance to see him play quite a bit. We also had a very good game today. He had 19 points in the big win against Wisconsin. But Myers Leonard seems a little bit more physical inside and also more athletic. Tisdale has a nicer touch and is more finesse, but Myers Leonard seems more physical and also a little more athletic.
All right, let's take a look at these teams as they streak into the state semifinals. Hales Franciscan has won 27 of their last 28. Their last loss way back in January to Chicago De La Salle. They lost by 10 in that game. For Robinson, they've won 14 of their last 15. They haven't lost since January either. A 3-point loss to the Flaming Hearts of Effingham, one of our favorite all-time team names. Now here's the highs and lows coming into tonight's game as well. Franciscan, obviously they can score. They put up 105 on DeSales and then just 58 against St. Ignatius. So highs and lows there. Look at that. Robinson put up 104, a $104 on Hillsboro, and a low twice of 51. So, you know, it's high school basketball. You can win by scoring a lot. You can win by scoring a little. Both teams have been able to win doing either one.
Right, you see both teams are capable of putting up a lot of points. A lot of times you get the state tournament, there seem to be more lower scoring games, so we'll just find out what happens.
You've been here before as a head coach. You came here as a first time, you came back. How much of an advantage is that for Gary London and his program? Maybe not the players haven't been here, but to have the coach here, to know what to expect, that kind of thing.
I think overall it helps. Even, like you say, the players haven't been here, coaches have. It's just more of a comfort, more relaxed attitude they have, just knowing that they've been here before, and hope the experience will pay off for them.
All right, it should be a good one. Robinson and Hales Franciscan for a trip to the 2A state championship game. We're back after this on the IHSA TV network.
Chicago Hales Franciscan has another talented team trying to repeat their state championship run of 2003. Robinson captured its only other boys basketball trophy 94 years ago. The drought is over following Tuesday night's super sectional win over Decatur St. Teresa. The Spartans and the Maroons close out Friday's semis. Next.
The hometown favorites are in the 2A state championship game. Peoria Emmanuel Rams will face either Hales Franciscan or the Robinson Maroons. Hello and welcome to the capital city of Illinois basketball for the next couple of weeks. I'm Lee Hall. Thanks for joining us here tonight on the IHSA TV network. We are here in downtown Peoria, Carver Arena, the home of the Bradley Braves, and we bring you the #1 team in the state tonight, Hales Franciscan, against one of the most heralded recruits out of Illinois this year, and that is Myers Leonard, the 7-footer who's headed to Illinois. We're looking forward to this one. And here for the call of tonight's second 2A semifinal, Jim Albrecht and Roger Lowe. Gentlemen.
Thanks a lot, Lee. One of the top teams in the state, the top team in 2A, against one of the top recruits in the country and his team tonight as we get set for #1 Hales Franciscan against upstart Robinson, who hasn't collected a trophy at state well before we were born is when it happened, Roger. Let's take a look at how Hales Franciscan took that #1 ranking down to Peoria. There were no problems whatsoever. As you can see, they won every game by double digits. That sectional final was the closest. As far as the Robinson Maroons, they had a close call, a 2-overtime win against Tolono Unity in the sectionals. Other than that, they cruised, although T-Town gave them a tough time. They took care of St. Teresa, and they are here tonight. Now, if you're going to classify Hales Franciscan with 2 words, it would be guards up, because they are a guard-oriented team, starting with Patrick Miller.
He might be the best guard in our state, Patrick Miller, and Tennessee State got an absolute steal getting this guy. He reminds me of Quinn Buckner, a poor man's Quinn Buckner. Look at the body on him right there. He first-team All-Stater, 80% free throw shooter, an outstanding player and floor leader.
And of course, if you're 6'1" and you look up and you see Myers Leonard, well, he looks high. Well, Bruce Weber, the Illinois coach, is very high on him as well. He'll be a key tonight.
Yeah, he really will be, and he is a big man here. He's for the University of Illinois. He also is a very vocal leader, a shot blocker and a shot alterer, and I think he's going to have a great career at Illinois.
And of course, he's the kind of young man who still has a body to grow into. When you look at 7-footers across the country, they are either rail thin or they're power men. He could be that latter category.
And I tell you what, he's going to give him a low post presence tonight, and he'll give a low post presence for 4 years for the Illini.
Well, Hales Franciscan, here's the keys according to Roger Lowe. What do they got to do?
Well, I think Hales Franciscan, they trap real well in their half court, and I think Robinson's going to have to be really prepared for that. The guards, Adams and Miller, I think are the best 2 guards in the state. And I think also that their offense is going to be created by making turnovers. Robinson's going to have to take care of the ball, and if they don't, Hales will make some quick baskets.
We'll see whether all that athleticism can bother Robinson early. Of course, when you talk about Robinson and you're talking about a Maroon team, the big guy isn't even the leading scorer.
Ben Jones has been the leading scorer for the last 3 years for him, but one thing they have to do is get the ball inside. They have to get the ball into Leonard, and Jones can get in there and penetrate and do some things. This is the leading free throw shooting team in the state, 77% as a team, so they need to get to the foul line, and they might be able to do that. And also, they have to get a quick start. They have to come out of the blocks. I think that if they don't get out of the blocks fast, Hales could get down on them. I think Robinson has to get started quickly.
And of course, all of Robinson is pretty jacked up. The last trophy they ever brought back from state was in 1916. They're going to bring back some hardware this weekend. We don't know just what place it will be. Hales Franciscan, they've been here before. They won a state championship with Nate Manoy and company in 2003. They want to get another one this decade.
And a tough schedule too, Jim. They play just an outstanding schedule up in the Catholic League up there. They're road tested, they're tough tested, and I think Robinson's going to have to play a great game to beat them.
And of course, that guard tandem we mentioned, they scored 40 plus together in the super sectional. They're going to be tough to stop. Watch the front court for Hales Franciscan. Right now, we're going to get you in tune to all these young men who are making their appearance here in the semifinal game. Let's go to our public address announcer, Paul Herzog. Paul?
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena for America's original March Madness. This semifinal game features the Chicago Hales Franciscan Spartans, a record of 28-2, and the Robinson Maroons, a record of 25-5. Let's meet the players. From Hales Franciscan, a 5'8" junior, 4, Lamel Collins. 6'5" sophomore, 13, Eric Armstead. 6' junior, number 10, Cameron Johnson. 6'5" senior, 14, Denzel Peppers. 6'2" sophomore, 15, Nige Lomax. 6'2" junior, 22, Kenneth Thigpen. 6'3" junior, 24, Akeem Cavan. 6'8" senior, 30, Tarek Smith. 6'4" junior, 32, Jerry Humphrey. 6'1" sophomore, 34, Josh Russell. Now let's meet the Maroons. A 6' junior, 10, Zach Shipman. 6'1" senior, 13, Jimmy Stevens. 5'9" freshman, 20, Aaron Seiler. 6'1" senior, 21, Cody Chamblin. 6'3" junior, 30, Alex Bruner. 5'11" sophomore, 33, Warren Whithouse. 6'1" sophomore, 34, Zach Danks. 6'1" junior, 40, Andrew Schrader. 6'1" sophomore, 42, Eli Wright. And a 6'2" junior, number 50, Ryan McCray. And now the starting lineups for the semifinal contest. At a forward for Hales Franciscan, a 6'7" senior, 20, Ricardo Martin. And a forward for Robinson, a 6'4" senior, 15, Devin Dirks. The other forward for the Spartans, a 6'4" junior, 21, Dominique Walls. At center for the Maroons, 7' senior, 32, Myers Leonard. And a guard for Hales Franciscan, 6' senior, 2, Patrick Miller. And a guard for Robinson, a 6'1" senior, 5, Derek Hannes. And a guard for the Spartans, a 5'10" senior, 3, Jamie Adams. And a guard for the Maroons, a 5'10" senior, 12, Austin Seiler. And the third guard for Hales Franciscan, a 6'4" junior, 23, Aaron Armstead. And the third guard for Robinson, a 6' senior, 23, Ben Jones. Coaching Hales Franciscan is 11th season, a record of 229-88. Gary London, assistant coaches, Darrell Sanders, Vanille Johnson, A.B. Stoner, Alonzo Crowder, Steve Jennings, and Fred Cleveland. Head coach for Robinson, 7 years for the Maroons, a record of 70-114. Les Wilson, Dave Hollebeck, and Dick Muston. No other state in America can claim the rich history and tradition that's been generated by March Madness in Illinois. It's America's original March Madness. As the players and coaches wish each other good luck at half court, the IHSA Board of Directors and member schools expect and promote good sportsmanship from all athletes, coaches, students, parents, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Do what's right. And the officials for this game, the referee from Urbana, Carrie Frericks. From Kankakee, Mike Kukuk. And from Monticello, Stephen Mitz. Presenting the game ball for this game will be Brandon Burwell, Client Support Manager of Multiad, one of the sponsors of the March Madness experience next door in the exhibit hall. We thank Multiad for their contribution to the greatest high school single event in the land.
We are set to see who will take on Peoria Manual tomorrow night right here at the Carver Arena in Peoria for the Class 2A championship. There you see the starting five, Miller and Adams. They light it up from the guard position. Armstead, his brother, will also see action. Martin and Walls is a guy to keep a look at because he can go up against Myers Leonard. He can get up and block a lot of shots. You saw the starting five for Robinson, Hannah Seiler, Leonard, Dirks, and Jones, and we're about ready to go, Roger Lowe.
It's going to be real interesting to see how Robinson comes out of the blocks here because Hales is going to put so much pressure on him on their offensive end. Trapped a lot on the baselines, on the sidelines. Robinson's going to have to do a pretty good job of taking care of that basketball.
And of course, Derek Hannes will have a lot to do with that, as will Austin Seiler. And sometimes that early minute or two, the speed of the defense of the other team can get you out of sync. Let's see what happens here. They tip it right to number 2, Miller, but he can't get it to fall. And there's the first rebound of the night for Myers Leonard. Myers Leonard is a rebounder, make no doubt about it. If you're 7 foot, you better be. He had 16 in one game this year. Nice backdoor cut to Jones.
And Hannah set that player up. We saw Hannah Tuesday, Coach Littrell from Milligan and me, and we fell in love with this kid, number 5.
Ben Jones has been the leading scorer on this team for 3 years. Not Myers Leonard. The jumper from the corner. Ricardo Martin answers.
Boy, if you get that out of him, that's the shot that Robinson wanted him to take.
Martin only averages 3 points a game. He's already got a deuce up there.
You're not going to be able to trap Leonard down there. He can see over you.
Leonard's a great assist man, too. 121 assists to his mates this year. Ben Jones driving, tough shot. And if you're Ben Jones, you're saying to yourself, you know, here's a long jumper out front. Jamie Adams, too much rim. Jones again. Hannes, double teamed and coughed it up. From the wing, not there this time. That was Adams again, and we got a one-on-one at the other end. Seiler lost it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Robinson's going to try to run with Hales Franciscan right now. I thought that Robinson would be a little bit more deliberate in their offensive sets.
There you see Gary London in all those appearances. Gary's been at the helm. This is his 11th year, 229 wins, only 88 losses, and that's in the Chicago Public League, folks. That's some tough competition. Patrick Miller spots up.
He is so good. Such great lift on his jump shot, too, Jim. We'll see that during the game. A lot of guys just are set shooters that jump. He's a jump shooter.
22-point average per game. His running mate at guard, Adams, 16 per game. A bad pass in the corner. Here comes Hales. Miller to the rack. No. And Austin Seiler, the good defender, spots the big man, and he'll go to the line. How could you not spot Myers Leonard, who does run the floor fairly well? One of his assets.
He sure does. And like I said, Coach Kaufman, as you see right there, has said, hey, look, we're going to go right after these guys, and it's paid dividends so far for him.
There you see Robert Kaufman talking with Austin Seiler. And, of course, when Kaufman came to this school 7 years ago, they had had a fairly good run, but the cupboard was empty. In his first 3 years at Robinson, Kaufman won all of 8 games. In his first 5, he won 25. They won 25 this year.
You know, and that's just a good example for school districts out there. Give a coach a chance. Let him run at least 4 years in there to get your kids in.
One free throw puts Robinson in front.
Now Jamie Adams with the ball right now. His brother is Jerome Randall, only the player of the year in the Pac-10 at California and a former Hales product.
Look at this drive, blocked out of the air. Armstead had it rejected. It's loose on the floor, and out of there with it comes Hannes. Ennis is fouled in the backcourt, a long way away from the bucket by Aaron Armstead.
Hanna's may be a key to this ball game because everything runs through him, and he is so cool, so calm out there, but he's going to see pressure like he's never seen before. Now the record, Jim, for blocks in a tournament is 5 in the 2A tournament. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Myers Leonard's going to break that this weekend.
I think I'll go with you on that. That's a tough pass against a quick defense. That is a turnover. Here comes Patrick Miller. Look at that pass. Down low it goes. Wall freakishly good. And he banks it in from underneath the basket.
He plays about 6'8". They list him as 6'4", but with his hops and his long arms, he plays a lot taller than that.
There's a nice drive, hanging. Good defense, but there's Jones to clean it up. No, gets it blocked. Back in again. Persistence on Ben Jones' part.
He is so strong, too, can deadlift 450 pounds, and Robinson is just punching back and forth here with Hales.
Look at Adams with the flash and the dash. Man, that was lightning quick.
What a quick first step he's got. Foul's going to be on Dirks, 15. Leonard's going to either block shots or alter shots, and Adams, a nice finish. 73% shooter from the line for the season.
And what his coach, Gary London, likes about this young man, a great work ethic. I mean, he's always at it. And he averages 4.5 assists per game. We're going to come back. A good start here. Don't go away after these network messages. Finish.
Well, you know, we've played against some pretty big guys this year. We played against the big kid from St. Ignatius that's heading to University of Illinois. So we've had some experience going against big guys. And, you know, one thing we're going to have to do, we're just going to be ready to play. I mean, this kid's going to be a pro, and, you know, he's got the whole package as far as what he brings to the game. So we're going to have to be ready to try and execute some of our defensive plans as far as what we want to do to try and shut him down.
You know, you both average over 70 points a game.
Gary London says that kid's going to be a pro. Here's that pressure again in the backcourt. It pays off as Aaron Armstead finishes it off.
5 turnovers already for the Maroons.
Franciscan up by 4. Ben Jones, much underrated. Look at that shot. Couldn't get it to fall back again, and he'll go to the free throw line. That is effort. That's the second time tonight he's just kept after it.
And Coach London cannot be happy about that. Hales watched the ball go off the rim rather than find a body, and Jones went in there and finished it up, and he's going to shoot 2.
And in that super sectional win, this young man, Ben Jones, 29 points, 9 boards. He's hit 35 in one occasion this year.
Well, this team is an unbelievable free throw shooting team. Ben Jones shooting 83%, Seiler 82, Hanna's 81. I mean, it's unbelievable, and 77% as a team. I would say is the best free throw shooting team in the state of Illinois for a percentage.
I would say that most coaches will settle like 68, 69, but you can get 75 plus. Those are bonus points, Roger. Jones, look at that. You know it's going in. And a 2-point game. Hales Franciscan bringing it up. The Spartans ranked number 1, 28-2 with the basketball. Armstead very active. He's got a nice mid-range game. Shot no by Miller, but hustling after it is Eric Armstead, his brother. The spin move, and we've got contact, but a travel beforehand. And I was about to say just how aggressive Eric Armstead
he knew Leonard was, yeah, he knew Leonard was there. He tried to do something a little bit more than he can do there. Leonard altered that play.
That time, Leonard almost lost the handle, but coming up with it is Austin Seiler, and he gets taken away from behind. Jamie Adams came up and just took the package. Look at this pass. Armstead, yes, count it, give the assist to Jamie Adams.
Yeah, set that up with Adams. He did the whole thing there.
Eric Armstead with his first 2 at the other end. It's Seiler. Wow.
And I'm just amazed how Robinson's going after him. I would never have bet this, but Coach Coughlin's doing a great job all season long and knows his personnel.
Jamie Adams. Miller and Adams have known each other a long time on the basketball court. Look at this turnaround by Patrick Miller.
I don't know if the fans can see this at home, but this kid is built just huge, and he reminds me a lot of Quinn Buckner. Certainly not as good as Quinn Buckner, but the same type of thing, a leader.
Jones pulls up, nails it. Woo. We are on fire at the Carver Arena.
Sit back and enjoy one tonight, it looks like.
Well, you're mentioning Miller's build, and people would look at him and say, wow, that kid spends a lot of time in the weight room. Not so, just natural. Adams, bank, no. Leonard tipped it out. It's loose. Jones has it. Look at this move down the sideline. Numbers. Alley-oop. Boom. Aaron Armstead the other way. That's House would have gotten brought down. Oh, they don't finish. Miller missed. Got it back. Put it in. He'll go to the line.
He's got such a great basketball IQ. Just stayed right with it. You'll see it again here. Goes up strong. Gets fouled from behind. He'll go to the line. Now Patrick Miller, has the most made free throws and the most attempts in the Final Four. So he's getting a lot of shots like that during the season. He's getting in, getting bodies all around him. And I'm telling you, when you hit him, you don't knock him off balance.
And Coach Gary London told me yesterday during the shoot-around, he said, when you show this young man a play, he finds out every angle imaginable, anything, any alternative to do off the play. He understands it immediately. He's got a high basketball IQ. Seiler out after the missed free throw. We'll wait for help. Ooh, Ben Jones shows his athletic ability, getting up for that one. They're going over the top now, trying to get an open jumper. Corey Shamblin in the game wearing number 21 is fouled.
Hales is in a little bit of half-court trap down there, and you'll see that every time the ball goes on sidelines or baseline, Hales will trap.
Well, Robert Kaufman decided before this game, as you pointed out, Roger, hey, they're going to run, we can run. Well, so far so good. They trail by 4.
But you know, they've been behind all along. They were behind to Unity, to T-Town, and St. Teresa, so this team can play from behind.
And there's that double team on the low block as they try to get it inside to Myers-Leonard. Keep your eyes, as I said before, on Dominique Walls, number 21. He can get up, and look at him get up there. Here he comes the other way. Across to Adams, finish it.
Perfect 2-on-1 break. They cut that angle down a little bit to about 15, 18 feet. And like you said, a great pass and a great finish.
Walls will fool you at 6'4", as you said. He plays like he's 6'9", 6'10". And now we'll see. We got a foul along the baseline. A little aggressive there by Patrick, or make that Aaron Armstead.
I just can't imagine that there's a better set of guards in the state of Illinois. Manuel has a couple great ones, and we saw that earlier. But boy, I tell you what, this group is top notch.
And that is 2 on Armstead. As the guards go, so goes Hale. Hale's right now going just fine. Number 1 in the state in 2A. And they can beat some 3A teams too, don't kid yourself. Here's Myers-Leonard, tough angle, can't get it, ball tipped out. Here comes Hales Franciscan. Jamie Adams.
One too many.
Yes or no?
One too many steps, yeah. Good call by the official. You're going to see it again here. The ball kind of jumped on him a little bit, as you see.
Oh yeah, he took the extra one easy. But on the playground, that counts, right guys? Doesn't count.
Now here's Hannes. This is the guy, like I said, that I really like. Going to go to Ball State and play shortstop, a baseball player.
Good hands that time by Leonard. Leonard with a nice pass to Jones. I'll tell you what, Myers-Leonard is going to have to fight for everything he gets tonight. There's a nice runner by Cody Shamblin.
He gave him a good game in the super sectional coming off the bench too against St. Teresa.
Armstead will misfire. That's Denzel.
Denzel Peppers is a good shooter. In fact, he qualified for the three-point shooting contest. A very nice arch, so that's a good shot for Hales.
So Denzel Peppers in the game. Game still in favor of Hales Franciscan. You're Ben Jones, number 23. For the young men in white, you're wondering, how come I don't get any credit? Because everybody's always talking about Myers-Leonard, which they should do.
Now, the one thing I don't like about Myers-Leonard, I'm just going to say it one time, is sometimes he gets a little hard on his teammates. I know he's a competitor and wants to win, but the other 4 guys on this team want to win equally as bad. So you just got to kind of put up with it and try to get your next possession.
Ultimately, tonight will boil down to, can they get it inside to number 32 enough? Jones hanging, no, but he'll go to the free throw line.
And you know, it was the strength there that allowed him to get that shot. Most guys wouldn't even get that shot up. You'll see it again. Takes it to the hole. Most guys wouldn't have been able to get this ball up, but because he's so strong in his upper body, he's able to get it up there for a 2-shot foul.
And
now Hales is in a little foul trouble right now, Jim. That's his 6th foul, and so from this point on, Robinson's going to be shooting bonus for the rest of this half.
And that was a big foul because Dominic Walls now has 2 personals here in the first quarter. Mr. Jones.
Now Leonard has played almost the entire first quarter without a basket. Just 1 point. So that's major that Hales Franciscan's done such a good job defensively on him.
He's only gotten 2 shots off. There you see a free throw shooting background that Jones has no problem with. Jerry Humphrey in the ball game now for Hales Franciscan, wearing number 32, the 6'4" junior.
I see Hales playing for one shot right now too, Jim.
Oh yeah. Good first quarter. If you like the scoreboard to light up like a pinball machine, this is your kind of quarter. It's Eric Armstead out front, but he'll probably give it up, I was going to say, to either Miller or Adams. Plenty of time left.
Seiler's got an awful tough matchup here.
Yeah, tough for a whole lot of people. Miller gives him the head fake, hangs, too much iron, and that's the way the first quarter will come to an end with a rebound by Ben Jones. We got a dandy. Hales Franciscan up by 3. We're back after these local messages.
And we are back at Carver Arena. One of the people that helped make IHSA basketball so special, Lana Brannon of lovely Robinson High School here. Look at this. She makes a bear, makes the little outfit for every team you guys play. How did you get started doing this, Lana?
This was in 1991 when my daughter was in high school.
Yeah?
Yes.
And you do that. How long does it take you to make something like this?
About 2 hours.
All right, and the cheerleaders present it to the opposing team before the game. Why do you still do this? What makes this special to you to still do it all through all these years?
I have met some most wonderful people doing this. I have made Colts bears. I made bears when we were in Saudi Arabia the first time. I have made them the Colts bears and took to the St. Vincent's Hospital. And I've just met wonderful people. And this is kind of a goodwill gesture. Even though you have fans and you're opposing each other, you still can have goodwill to the following, your opposing team.
Absolutely. Jim Albrecht, we're going to see if she'll make one for you with the IHSA logo on it. All right, buddy? IHSA TV. Back to you. Thanks, Lana.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there were 2 dolls in that shot, and Lee was not one of them. Nice block by Myers Leonard.
That's his second of the game, and he altered the shot at the end of the quarter, too. So even though he didn't get the block, he altered the shot that caused the miss. Now, Jones with 11 points in the first half. Is no wonder why he's been the leading scorer at Robinson High School for the past 3 years.
And he forces the issue, folks. He doesn't wait for his shot. He creates his shot. Big difference there. Hannes out front.
Hannes smart enough not to get in the traps either. Look, he's keeping the ball right in the middle of the floor.
For Jones, who lost the handle. Again, a quick hand by Hales Franciscan. Miller to the rack. Too much. And a rebound. Well, who did that hit? Somebody was standing out of bounds. Here's the first quarter stats brought to you by Menard. Save big money at Menard.
Now, you look at that. Robinson shooting 66% from the field, out-rebound them, and still down by 3 points. So a lot of things happen with turnovers. Hales has 8 points, excuse me, Jim, on turnovers.
Robinson contesting those drives. Oh, there's a bad pass. Myers Leonard saw a cutting Austin Seiler, but hit him on the side of the head. Seiler wasn't expecting that pass.
Now that's 8 turnovers for the Maroons.
Denzel Peppers, Jerry Humphrey, this man Miller, who gets it off to Armstead, who buries it. Eric Armstead, the very aggressive sophomore, with a nice touch.
I'll tell you what, I coached in college for 4 years, and somebody missed something on Miller in this state of Illinois. I mean, for him to go to Tennessee State, they have got a steal of a basketball player.
And Myers-Leonard getting a little frustrated every time he tries to touch the football. He's got company wearing red and black.
He better get used to this, because for 4 years this is going to happen, and he's never seen a defense as aggressive and as athletic as this team from Hales Franciscan.
I was about to say, this is kind of a Big Ten primer, isn't it, if you're going to the University of Illinois. And this is the first recruit out of Robinson to a Big Ten school in a long, long while. Had a couple of young men in the 70s who went to Purdue.
Right. That was Mike Steele and Robin McCarter. Now, believe this or not, Myers-Leonard's going to play baseball this spring.
For the Cubs?
Can you imagine batting against this guy? I mean, the ball's going to be coming out of his hand about 40 feet.
Going to be like fast-pitch softball when it comes up there. He hasn't played baseball for the last couple of years, but he was last clocked at 80 when he did. He thinks that'll improve.
I think I'd be clocked at 80 going back to the bench, because I wouldn't want to hit against him. An interesting matchup right now with Adams and Hannes.
Nobody giving any ground. This is a nice jumper on the way, but too hard by Armstead. Here comes Ben Jones, and he tried to do too much. Armstead takes it back. Jam!
They need to keep the ball in Hannes' hands. He's the one that's going to bring the ball up the floor for you.
Eric Armstead rocking the house here at the Carver Center, at the Peoria Civic Center. Carver Arena, I should say. 5-point lead. Myers-Leonard, is he open? Yes, he is!
And his first basket.
Give the assist to Cody Shamblin.
Now this is an important defensive set now for Robinson, because he might have a little momentum after that dunk.
Tough shot, too much. And last touch by Jerry Humphrey for Hales Franciscan.
We're going to see another look at Myers-Leonard dunk, which the fans of Robinson have seen for a long, long time. And like you said, Jim, a great setup pass by Chamberlain.
Working against that pressure. Shamblin comes cross court to Ben Jones. Jones has had some trouble here lately. Long jumper, had a good eye on it. Austin Seiler missed it though. Here comes Miller. Miller in a hurry, dishes. Long jumper, that's not going to be there.
Oh my.
People are getting up here, Roger. They are getting up. Derek Hannes. They're double teaming Jones. They got that assignment from their coach. As soon as Jones started getting hot, he'll go and won't get it to fall. Gets it right back. He's going to go up. He's going to not score.
Wow.
Whoa.
You're talking about a warrior, a battler down there. Jones
Everything but the finish.
We've seen this now 2 or 3 times today where Jones is, you know, it's anybody's basketball and Jones seems to always get it back.
You can see the arm getting hit on the way up.
Now that's a man right there. Look at that body on him.
6 feet, 185. Bench presses Roger and me simultaneously.
Oh man, I tell you what, they used to say you can't lift and be a good basketball player. Well, that's archaic, because he's got a feathery touch from the line.
Well, people are wondering, you know, would this be a shootout, because these teams both average 70 plus. Robinson at 70 and Hales Franciscan at 73 points a game. And we've gotten everything we wanted so far. It's a 1-point game. We're back after these local messages go crazy. We mentioned earlier that Robinson took second in the IHSA Boys Tournament way back in 1960. This will be their first piece of hardware since then. They've been to Sweet 16s, just haven't gotten beyond that point. So Who was our president? What was the price of a gallon of gasoline? I think they actually paid you to get the gasoline back then. But I'm going to go with Calvin Coolidge because I just like presidents that have C's and C's, that's all.
Well, I know Floyd the barber said, what did Calvin Coolidge say? So maybe we'll find out.
I don't think it is Calvin Coolidge.
Adams having a hard time getting on track right now. 2 of 6 from the floor. Miller's not much better, 3 of 10.
Hales Franciscan. Miller spots down low, but that shot's not going to go by Humphrey, but followed it.
Big body, strong kid in there. Took it right to Leonard. And this is where you don't want to be on the sidelines against Hales Franciscan.
There's the pass to the big man who kicked it right back out. Didn't want to have anything to do with it. Hannah's inside, steps up, scores.
I like him so much, Jim. I just love him. He's a leader, he's a ball handler, 3-year starter. And you can tell he leads by example.
And you can tell he's the son of a coach. His dad, of course, is the baseball coach at Lincoln Trail. You already mentioned he was going to play baseball in college. Ball State, he'll be a shortstop, or at least that's the plan now. Miller, another nice pass down low, and Humphrey walks.
And that was changed by Myers-Leonard.
Okay, here's where I'm going to prove to you I was wrong. The answer to the president was Woodrow Wilson. Oh, that hurts. Gasoline 15 cents a gallon, that hurts.
It's only 19 cents a gallon in Princeton, so.
Well, I like the alphabet thing, CC, WW. I was close. Can that go? No. Derek Hannes from way outside. Hales Franciscan still has the lead. In a hurry, Miller bounced it off of Myers-Leonard, and we'll have a foul to hold action.
Only the 3rd foul, though, for Robinson in the half, so they played relatively foul-free here.
The winner plays Peoria Manual tomorrow night. Of course, we've got the 1A consolation game tomorrow and then the 1A championship game. All that starts at noon here on the IHSA television network. The 2A dance wraps up tomorrow night starting at 6:30. Adams juking, hanging, fire, hitting.
Boy, just a great lift on his jump shot, too.
Well, they create space because the defender knows they've got a great first step. So they try to get that little angle open and create a little space. You saw what happened.
You don't want it there.
In trouble. Hannes. In the corner, Seiler. Look for the big man. There he is. And he gets it stripped down low. He had the ball around his waist. That won't work. This will. Armstead.
Now, if Leonard would just get in the middle of the court, they might be able to just pass over the top and get him the basketball.
Eric Armstead with his 2nd flush of the night.
This will be the last time that Robinson will shoot the bonus in the half. Jones will go to the line, but after this, it'll be 2-shot fouls.
And they had Myers-Leonard where they wanted him, but he couldn't keep that ball high enough.
Yeah, I think he's getting a little taste of what's going to happen here in the next 4 years. I don't think he's seen a defense that's as aggressive as this down low. If he has, it's been very few.
Well, if you're a good defender, you're not only not impressed by somebody who has stature, you're actually pumped because you get to go up against him.
Right. 6 for 7 from the line so far for Jones. So his season average and his tournament average are about the same.
Devin Dirks has checked back in.
That's 15 points now for Ben.
Man, when he misses a free throw, it's like a news item.
Interesting matchup, like we said all along. The guards for Robinson against the outstanding guards for Hales.
Adams off the pick, goes up against the big man, and he walks.
And again, Leonard influenced that. You know, Miller knew where he was and just took an extra step. So Leonard does not have to block a shot to make his presence known.
And the mark of a good player is when you're struggling on one end of the floor offensively, like Leonard is. You play the D. Bad pass. Is this a good shot? No. Rebound is fought for. Last touch by Hales Franciscan.
Ooh, I don't know.
Tell you what, Robert Kaufman was making that call. He was like, the other way. And you can see the intensity on the face of the Robinson Maroons head coach. They play in the Apollo Conference.
You know, Coach Kaufman's dad was an outstanding coach too, Jim. He coached at Beech Grove High School or North Central High School in Indianapolis. So the apple didn't fall from the tree. Outstanding coach at Robinson, and his dad, outstanding coach as well.
Nice move that time by Hannes, who's better watch out. And fortunately for him,
He got it poked from behind and out of bounds.
He's playing a little bit faster than he should right there, I think. If Hales is more of an under control type player.
Go it!
Now again, some teams you try to get it down low. That's just a blown
And that's 13.
inbounds pass.
That's 13 turnovers there. And we said that they had to be able to handle this pressure.
We've got a timeout on the floor. Robinson calls it. This game started fast and the tempo is still there. When you order a family pleaser at Monocle's Pizza this weekend and mention the IHSA, Monocle's will donate $1 of your sale back to the IHSA. Monocle's has been giving back to their communities and serving great pizza since 1959 to folks like Roger Lowe and his lovely bride.
You know what? My wife and I go to Monocle's so often that on the ticket it does not say table number, it says Mr. and Mrs. Lowe. So they know us very well in Princeton, and they're nothing like a Monocle's Pizza. I've been eating it since the 8th grade, and in fact had one last night, Jimmy.
I'd like to get one when the game's over, that's for sure. The pace of this game is giving me an appetite. I'm getting hungry for more. 29-26, Hales Franciscan. They've never relinquished the lead, but Robinson's been right on their tail.
Now, Hales is in somewhat of foul trouble. Martin and Walls and Aaron Armstead all have 2 fouls, so you got to be careful with that. You don't want one of those guys to pick up 3, but someone's going to have to help out Jones. 15 points in the first half, and he's going to need some more help. Hales Franciscan much more balanced.
Well, and when Jones got untracked, they really set themselves, they being Hales Franciscan, to get after him a little harder too. And they've been a little more successful at that in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game. Jerry Humphrey in there for Hales Franciscan, along with Eric Armstead, Patrick Miller, and Jamie Adams. Do they ever come out? And of course, Denzel Peppers, wearing number 14, rounds out the 5 on the floor for Coach Gary London. Here's Strength, but he is fouled before he launched that thing by Jones. But did you see Myers Leonard?
Watch this double pump, though, because he knew Leonard was there.
Yeah.
Yep, he didn't go up strong with it. Leonard can alter so many shots and never really even touch it.
And as Leonard grows, what he wants to do is, you know, when you're young, you want to swat everything out of the gym. When you get older, you want to control. When it's there and you can control it or tip it to a teammate, that's what you want to do.
That's what Bill Russell used to do with the Celtics. He used to keep so many balls in play and, you know, set up fast breaks.
So Miller, 79% free throw shooter.
Here comes the pressure.
If you've got shooting guards, you want to have them make free throws, and these two do.
You don't want it there, Jim. You don't want it on the sidelines.
Now, Shamlin got out of trouble. Oh, no. Yes! Derek Hannes found himself kind of in no man's land, threw it up and landed it. How about that angle from Jamie Adams? That was a tough angle, Roger.
Made it look easy, though.
Dirks looks behind him. That's what you have to do against Hales Franciscan. When you're bringing the ball up the court, don't just look in front of you. Again, Hannes, too little. Just not enough.
But I just love that kid. Hannes is my kind of player.
5-point Hales Franciscan lead.
Looks like they're going to take the ear out of it again, Jim. Maybe play for 1.
Or not.
Or not.
Dirks controls the rebound.
It's a good shot. You know, Adams had a good shot, just didn't fall.
And I think maybe Coach Kaufman might be considering the 1, but it's really hard to keep the ball away from Hales Franciscan for 40-some seconds. Leonard hard to the rack, and he will go to the free throw line.
Good pass by Hannes. He broke down the defense there, and they're not going to give him anything easy. 2 on Humphrey now, so 4 Hales Franciscan players with 2 fouls each.
With every foul comes a free bruise from Hales Franciscan. They don't want you thinking you own that property.
I think Myers is going to sleep well tonight. He's been beaten up down there pretty well.
He's a very good free throw shooter, but doesn't get the roll. They get a good shot at Gary London.
I would consider him the vocal leader of this team. I would consider Jones and Hannes the example leader.
Back into the ball game is Austin Seiler for Robinson.
Let's try this again. I think Hales will play for 1 shot this time. I think they will. They're getting in Kenneth Thigpen, who, when I saw him play over the sectional final, didn't play much. So they're getting into another shooter, though. Humphrey is not much of an outside shooter. Thigpen may give him a little bit more threat to score.
And Thigpen has hit 3 threes out of just 5 attempts this year, so he's got confidence from beyond the arc if they need to kick it out. Eric Armstead, very impressive sophomore. He doesn't play like a sophomore.
Robinson's done a great job playing foul free. Only 4 in the first half.
That could be a big factor when we come back after intermission. Miller.
Now, who are they going to call that on?
It was out front.
Okay, but that's only 5 fouls, so it's no big deal right now. Hales Franciscan have to take the ball out of bounds.
That's what Robert Kaufman actually wanted his team to do. He didn't mind that. He wanted to give them a foul late and then force them into a tighter situation as far as the clock is concerned.
Oh my gosh, they don't know how much time's left.
And they throw it away.
Yeah, that
1.5 left.
That play was not run well at all. I just don't think Hales Franciscan knew the situation.
Well, you want to see maybe a
let's see the baseball pitcher throw one,
Yeah, I was going to say.
If he's a good thrower, let's see him toss one.
What you don't want to do is get a turnover in your end. Here's the pass. He's got a man open. It's Jones. Will it go? No.
Whoa, that'd have been a big basket.
Wow, they worked the play to perfection, just couldn't quite finish it. Jones just missed it. It's Hales Franciscan up by 4 at the break. They head to the locker room for adjustments. We'll head to a commercial break. These network messages will be coming up in a second, but first let's go to Lee Hall and see what he has to say with Gary London as they look for the coach.
All right, well, trying to get out of here, I kind of felt like Myers-Leonard. I was getting bodied into the bench. You guys have done a pretty good job on the big guy so far.
Yeah, well, we talked about, obviously, he gets your attention, and he's not going to sneak by us, that's for sure. So, no, our guys have been doing a good job of focusing on the game plan and trying to keep him off the boards.
Your defense, relentless. 15 turnovers, I think, the last time I checked, and 14 maybe points off turnovers. You guys have done a very good job there.
Yeah, we have, but I'd like our conversion ratio to be a little bit higher. It seems like we're getting down on the offensive end, and we're not valuing the possession enough to convert all those turnovers.
All right, Gary London, good luck to you. All right, thanks a lot. We're back at Carver Arena after this on the IHSA TV network. And welcome back to Carver Arena in downtown Peoria. The National Association of Realtors wants you to know that home ownership is an investment in your future. Apparently we're on.
Okay.
So here we go.
Ready to go.
Robinson with the, what is the score? I had to run up here. 33-29. Hales Franciscan talking to Gary London about the defense. He'd like to see them do a better job of converting their turnovers. I thought they did a pretty good job.
I thought they did too. Their pressure defense was the key, I thought, for Hales Franciscan. They picked up some full court pressure the second quarter, and Robinson had some trouble handling it. And I think they've got to find a way to handle the pressure and find some way to get Myers-Leonard the ball closer to the basket if they're going to be successful in the second half.
And they are doing such a job on Myers-Leonard, and it's all within the rules of the game, and the officials aren't calling it, but there's a lot of physicality against Myers-Leonard inside, especially on the defensive end when he's trying to go up and rebound.
There sure is, on the defensive end, and there's been a couple of times where Myers-Leonard, I'm sure he's been told many times to keep the ball high when he gets it.
Right.
There's a couple of times when he brings it down, they're getting their hands all over it, and so he's not able to take the ball back up.
And how about Derek Hannes for Robinson? He has done such a nice job of Ben Jones is their leading scorer in the first half, but you expect that. Hannes, though, has found some spots and scored and made some good plays.
Yeah, he has. He's penetrated to the basket a few times. I think he's had a couple baskets. He's missed a couple easy shots, but he's getting there. So I think he may be their third option. But Ben Jones, what can you say? 15 points that first half. So he's pretty remarkable.
I've seen guys on ESPN do that. If you do that with your hand, it sounds kind of like you know what you're talking about. Hales Franciscan in the locker room with the lead. Boy, they've done just so many things right. And even though Leonard adjusts so many shots, they still found ways to score.
They sure did. They're very good in transition. They convert their turnovers. I thought they did a pretty good job converting their turnovers. So when they started, I said, wow, the pressure defense and their transition basketball it's going to be pretty tough to contend with.
All right, it's Hales Franciscan with the 4-point lead here at the break. We're back after this local timeout. Here's a look at our halftime stats. Brought to us by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Cliff Cameron, both teams shooting the ball pretty well from the floor.
Yes. I think Robinson's getting some easier looks. Of course, a lot of that was Ben Johnson. Both teams shooting, 45, 52% from floor. So that was good.
I'm sorry, I can't hear a word you're saying because of the band. Both teams 0 for 9, combined 0 for 9. We saw that earlier today. The three-point shooting not very effective for either team here in the early going. Points off turnovers, there's a big key, Coach.
Right.
16-2 for Hales Franciscan.
Right, you see a lot of transition points, a lot of points off turnovers. So that's a big difference in the game right there.
And you get a look at the balanced scoring for Hales. Adams with 9, Armstead with 8, Miller with 8. For Robinson, Jones with 15, Leonard with 6, and Hannah's with 4. I guess he made a pretty good impression on me. He only scored twice, but they were awful pretty.
Well, they were pretty. You did a good job getting to the basket. A couple times he did get there but missed a layup. So I think he's just going to be a key to the second half. Also, I look for maybe Robinson to consider playing a zone. They haven't played zone. I know they played some zone this year. Maybe it'd be worth a try to see how Hales Franciscan would handle the zone defense.
0 for 7 from three-point range. It's worth a shot,
right.
Possibly. Down 4, it's Robinson trailing the #1 team in the state, Hales Franciscan, with 16 minutes to play. We're back after this local timeout.
We are at Carver Arena, a half away to see who will play Peoria Manual. Hales Franciscan right now with the edge. I'm Jamal Brecht along with Roger Lowe, and I don't think it's a total highlight reel in the first half, but you got some interesting entries as we take a look at the first half highlights.
Okay, first thing here, you see Ben Jones. That's a common occurrence today, taking the ball in the hole. You're going to see how Leonard here affects a lot of shots.
Wow.
Sometimes he doesn't even get his hands on them, but right there, a good block. Austin Seiler taking it really strong to the hole. I'm really impressed with how Robinson's just challenging Hales Franciscan. Here's Jamie Adams off a great pass by Patrick Miller on the finish. Now Eric Armstead did a great job off the bench. Here's his one-handed flush. The game I saw him play, he was a starter. And here's what people came to the arena tonight to see. The big dunk by Myers Leonard. And finally, once again, here's Armstead on the break from Patrick Miller again for the two-handed finish.
Yep, they can get into transition very, very quickly. Will the #1 team in 2A be here tomorrow night for the championship? Don't go away. We're about to find out after these network messages.
All right.
Here's our Subway player of the first half. As we said, Eric Armstead has started a few games this year for Hales Franciscan. He knows how to finish, whether he starts or come off the bench. Get any regular footlong for $5 at Subway. Eat fresh.
Now, Jim, if I'd have asked you this question before the game, at halftime, Hales has 16 more shots than Robinson. Robinson has 13 turnovers, and Myers Leonard has 1 basket. Would you say that Hales would be up 20?
I would say at least 20.
And, you know, Robinson is in this ball game, 33-29. You know, Hales with so many shots and Robinson not taking very good care of the basketball. And if Leonard can get on track down there in the blocks, Robinson could pull stunner tonight.
And again, foul trouble could be looming for Hales Franciscan. The one guy you want to keep off the foul line is obviously Ben Jones. He's 7 of 8 there in the first half. And if they can get any kind of help from Hales or anybody else on that Robinson team, we could have an upset in the making.
The one thing I like about Hale's foul situation, though, is Adams has 0 fouls and Miller only has 1.
And those are the 2 guys that make this team go.
You know, last year, G.J. Cooper with Seton Academy was the catalyst. This year, Patrick Miller, the catalyst from the Catholic League. You just can't win without good guard play, and that's proven with Robinson, too, because Hannes and Seiler do a great job. Also, obviously, Jones in their 3-guard set.
Starting 5 for the Maroons to kick off the second half. Hannes, Seiler, Leonard, Dirks, and Jones. For Hales Franciscan, it's Ricardo Martin, Adams Miller, Walls, and let's see if Armstead's back in there.
I think they're back with their starters.
Yep, Aaron Armstead is in there. So let's see what kind of adjustments Gary London has in mind.
Notice how far they're pulling Myers from the basket, too, with Ricardo Martin out that far.
Jump pass, baseline, buried by Aaron Armstead.
That's something I would do as I was Coach London. I would try to bring my Leonard out away from the basket to make it a lot easier for you inside.
Now a 6-point deficit.
Watch for these traps now on the sidelines. If you get on the sidelines, just like another defender. That's not where you want it.
Jones patiently goes over the top. Now down low, and there's Leonard for the easy 2.
And a great pass by Seiler.
And they took their time passing that ball around the perimeter and over the top.
And again, you got Martin out here. Look how far Leonard is from the basket. Could open up a lot of lanes inside.
He falls back now along with Martin. Long jumper Miller, too much. And here's a baseball pass down the other end. Can Seiler shake free? He cannot. But the follow is there by Dirks.
Robinson just played a little bit better than Hales there. They ran the floor. Hales did not.
A quick 4-point outburst by the Maroons, and it's a 2-point game.
If they're going to continue to play man-to-man, Robinson I'm talking about, that's where Martin would play for me, right there. Take Leonard away.
Martin not known for long jumpers like that. That's off the mark by Adams, and again, another rebound for the Maroons, and they have a chance to tie or take the lead. They can work it up uncontested.
See how Hannes keeps the ball in the center of the floor, Jim? Just doesn't get himself in trap situations. He is just so smart.
Bad pass. He saw cutting Seiler, but couldn't quite get it to him.
You can't float him against Hales Francisco.
Adams will float instead.
That's right. You got to snap that pass against Hales Francisco. They're just too good, too quick, too active.
Jamie Adams now with 11 points on the night. Jones gets his defenders in the air. Jones up top. He likes it up there. But he's in trouble, so they kick it back out. Long 3 is good by Hannes.
He shoots 39% from there, which is good in anybody's league.
That's the first 3 of the night for either team. And Hales Franciscan's lead is a single digit. Whoa, a lot of contact out there. Miller says, I love contact. Can't get it though. Leonard comes down with it. Ooh, almost an unforced error there. Dirks better hurry. He does, over to Jones. Look at this defense. Always on you. Hannes didn't want the shot. But Seiler does.
Seiler hit a big 3 against St. Teresa in the super sectional, and you got to stay on him. 39-37 Robinson.
That was a 3, wasn't it? They only have 38-37 on the board, and it's blocked by Leonard with emphasis.
Well, I sure thought it was a 3, but we'll have to check it.
He was in the far corner. We'll check it. They're fired up. Robinson has the lead back after these local messages.
It's heating up at the Carver Arena, always heating up at Apple's Bakery in Peoria, serving breakfast and lunch. Breakfast wraps, homemade soups. Don't forget, Wednesday is St. Patty's Day. Lots of corned beef. And, of course, baked goods delivered anywhere to your door. Anywhere, folks. Check them out online at applesbakery.com. Whoa, Roger.
Now, you know what you call an Irishman on St. Patrick's Day, don't you?
Anything he wants?
A cab.
So Hales Franciscan trailing for the first time tonight. That was a 2 before we went to break. A 2-pointer. Hanging and getting it to go is Miller. And Kaufman, Coach Kaufman can't believe that shot because the defense was there.
There's only one way this basket goes in, and just because of the incredible strength of Miller. How does he get that ball up?
And Miller hasn't been on the mark tonight, especially from the outside. He's 0-4 from three-point range. But when he muscles up inside, that's the result, and a 3-point conventional play as Hales Franciscan says, okay, we want the lead back, and we've got it.
How could somebody so cut and so strong shoot with such a feathery touch? I mean, it's just incredible how good this kid is.
And again, Patrick Miller headed to Tennessee State.
Watch where this ball's going to stay, Jim. Right in the center of the floor.
With Hannes. Does a nice job, gets it up to Jones. Jones gets it in to Leonard. Leonard way away from the court, goes over the top. Hannes is going to be short, but the rebound comes down, and it's not there. Missing it was Cody Chambly. Ball loose on the floor. Who's going to go get it? Who else? Hannes. He sure does play like a coach's son, doesn't he? Under control. Knows where. Oh, look at that. That's just great defense by Dominique Walls. Normally that's a good pass.
Right, and that's the thing, the only thing he's done wrong today, as far as I'm concerned, he's just got to put a little bit more juice on the passes because Hales, as we've talked about time and time and time again, is just too active defensively.
I know he's made that pass 100 times this year to
Yeah.
Myers Leonard, and
Right.
it got there, but Walls with that, as his coach says, freaky athletic ability. Uh-oh, Miller.
And that's 2 on Leonard.
And Miller got a little shaken up on that
I'm
one.
sorry, that's his first foul. I like the idea, though, that they're taking the ball strong to him, making him make some decisions defensively.
It's not mixed martial arts, but they're mixing it up, that's for sure. Gary London says, if this guy doesn't end up being a coach somewhere, I'll be surprised. He's just too smart about the game.
I think the best guard that I've ever seen in high school basketball is Quinn Buckner. And Miller reminds me so much of him. He's obviously not as good as Quinn, but just reminds me a lot of his game. Just a leader, quiet leader, pretty good shooter, great hops, team leader.
And the lead is back to 4 by Hales Franciscan. So
here's the trap.
For a moment, Robinson had the lead, but now they're going to have to work uphill again. Dirks.
They need to get Myers down the blocks, Jim.
And right now he's at the high post. Jones looks for him, can't get it. Walls again with great defense. Stop the alley-oop. And a whistle, and turning it over that time is Miller. Again, that should have been 2 were it not for Walls. Look at this.
Yep.
Well, there's the drive, but that was the palming the ball call on Patrick Miller. Bad pass, but somehow they get away with it. Jones comes up, always being pursued. There's a nice pass. Shamlin didn't want the shot.
Shamlin and Dirks don't really want to shoot the ball, but here he got it in a good position.
And Dirks forced it, got a little too much on it. Defense turned the tide on that one. Look out, here comes Eric Armstead. Shot, no. That's a tough rebound by Myers Leonard. He had to want that one. Jones. Pretty.
I wasn't sold on him in the super sectional, but I am today, Jim. He's going to make somebody a good college guard.
17 points on the night for Ben Jones. His team now back on defense, trailing by those 2 you see on your screen. Ricardo Martin gave it up to Miller. That's why. I'm telling you.
You got a horse, you ride him, don't you?
Yes, indeed. It's derby time. Ride.
Pick it up.
Leonard is contested out front and fouled by Miller, who agrees with the call.
Yeah, I don't think you want Leonard drilling the ball out there between the circles. Get it to your guards and then get yourself down to the blocks. I'm kind of surprised how Leonard has not played so much down in the low blocks. He's done a lot of stuff out in the perimeter.
And that's how he started his high school career. He loved to face up to the basket, and eventually coaches, fans, friends, AAU coaches all said, my man, you got to go inside.
Right. And the man guarding him, it looks like a shrimp, and Ricardo Martin's a man. I mean, 6'7", about 210, but he looks tiny next to Myers Leonard.
Jones loses his man, sends home the three, won't go.
And that was from the college three. If he could have just got himself about a foot closer, he'd have made the shot.
Franciscan up by 4, out of control is Adams, and it is a jump ball.
I didn't get to see much of Adams in the sectional final. He got in foul trouble against Paxton Buckley-Loda, but I'm sure glad I'm getting a chance to see this kid today.
Possession arrow favors the Maroons, so they'll inbound. Got some perspiration on the floor. We're cleaning up. Here you see a coaching moment. Jamie Adams listens to one of his assistant coaches. No high school basketball teams without those assistants, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They put in the same time. Jones in a hurry. And I think he might have either turned it over or got fouled from behind, and that's going to be the call, the latter.
Yeah, the assistant coaches play such a huge role because they do some of the things that, you know, the head coaches don't see. Players like, sometimes we talk to assistant coaches more than head coaches as far as if they're having problems, so they're worth their weight in gold, Jim.
Inside, couldn't get it to go as the Illini recruit mad at himself over that one, that opportunity to cut it to 2. I mean, that's not good.
That was a poor shot. Yeah, that was not a good shot.
Miller forced it, but they get it back. This is Armstead. He finishes. No, came out, and we've got a foul against. It looked like Walls came in from behind. Let's see what the call is.
This was not a good possession for Hales Franciscan. At no time did they really take a very good shot there. A lot of times off balance. Miller started off with a bad shot, so that's unusual for a Gary London team to have a really nifty possession.
That's 4 fouls on Walls. That's of note.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
Oh, just a great strip by Armstead, and he laid it in.
I think if the Robinson team would have given Hannah some room, he would have been able to be all right there.
Got to space out against this team. We'll see if that was a floor foul or in the act. It's going to be in the act.
The play before that, Hannes was trying to get the Robinson players to go further down the floor, and what happened is they double-teamed Hannes because of the proximity of the other Robinson player. I think if you just clear out, Hannes can handle this thing just fine.
Ever since this team was just a bunch of young freshmen, they said, we're going to be the team to get on back to state.
And as I say again, here's Coach Kaufman. I'm just so glad that the Robinson administration saw that you had an outstanding coach here and let him get his team and, you know, the way he wants to coach him.
Hannes, an 81% free throw shooter, calmly makes it a 4-point game. Armstead looking for Miller. Miller looking for somebody, and that ball is loose. Fighting after it and coming up with it is Armstead. Again, Miller. And that ball is tipped, I believe, on the way up and last touched.
It's going to be Hale's ball, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Well, what Myers Leonard is saying is that it hit the back of the backboard.
Myers needs to quit being on the debate team here right now and just play.
Oh, yeah, he's right.
But I think Myers got it right. He was Perry Mason there. He got it right.
Unless somebody tipped it right at the last second, it's very hard to tell if they got a fingertip on it. If they did, that was about it. Miller. Armstead wildly firing that one off.
That's Myers' 11th rebound. He's really taken over in the second half.
His season high is 16. Big man comes over and helps out. Again, if you're just joining us, Myers Leonard, 7-footer. Recruited by Bruce Weber successfully. Here's a steal, and this is going to be money. Miller,
Got to hurry, 24 seconds to go. Plenty of time, though.
And you might want to hold for a shot here, but first you got to get it up court, and there's a bad foul by Jerry Humphrey.
I could have made that one. I could have made that call.
Jerry a little over anxious there.
Quite a coach right there, too. You saw Gary London, always under control. His kids play that way. I'm always so impressed with how Hales Franciscan is so disciplined. Offensively, defensively, it comes from the top.
4-point lead at the half. Now it's a 6-point lead for Hales Franciscan. The long reach of Hales Franciscan making it difficult to get it up. They do. 5 seconds. Hales has to hurry, forces it, gets it. And that's the way the third quarter comes to a close. We're right where we were at the half. Don't go away. One of these two will take on Peoria Manual. Let's pause for these network messages. There's the numbers brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards through 3. What do you see, Roger?
Well, Miles Leonard's taking control of the rebounding here, and field goal shooting from Hales Franciscan. Miller and Adams have 28 points, but it's taken them 31 shots to get those 28 points. They have 31 shots, and Robinson only has 30 as a team. So I'll tell you what, I would never would have picked this, a 4-point game after seeing both teams play, but I have to think Robinson's in the driver's seat even though they're down 4 because they're in no foul trouble at all. And Hales has got some people, you know, here and there in foul trouble, but I would never bet against a Gary London team.
And Dominic Walls, of course, who was a real presence keeping Leonard out of the low blocks, is on the bench with 4 fouls.
Right.
Now, Ben Jones cooled off a little bit in that third quarter, only scoring 2 points, but it was Derek Hannes picking it up, and that was emphasized with that last second shot as the third quarter wound down.
Eric Armstead has just given them a great play off the bench, though, hadn't he, Jim? 5 for 7 from the floor, 10 points. He's done a great job for him.
Hales will inbound.
These first 2 or 3 minutes in this quarter are going to be crucial for both teams.
Aaron Armstead in the game, along with his brother Eric Armstead. Ooh, that pass almost broken up. But driving with it and dishing on the other side. What a pass is right. Ricardo Martin, the beneficiary of a Miller assist. Tough play inside. 6-point Hales Franciscan lead again. Ben Jones trying to work the right side. Had it stripped on his way up. Again, good defense. That's the other Armstead, Aaron. Boy, they are all over you. Miller stops. Doesn't drain it. Tip, though, kept alive. It's coming away. And picking it up will be Shamblin for Robinson. And there's the big man. Loose, but he can't finish. Fouled. And you could hear Robert Kaufman yelling all the way down the court, get it down, the big man's in the low block.
Just got nudged enough where it threw him off balance a little bit. But I'm so impressed with the way Hales Franciscan runs their half-court offense, and I just think if they've got this lead, it's going to be hard to catch them.
That's Aaron Armstead's 3rd personal. Leonard. That is a shooter's touch indeed.
Yeah, that's a soft touch for a big man.
In the super sectional win, 21 points on 7 of 10 from the floor, 8 boards, 5 blocks. That's a super sectional. We're back to a 4-point game again. It's been like this all night, ladies and gentlemen.
5 lead changes.
Exchanging punches. Oh! That should be a jump ball, but they wouldn't give it up to him. Here's Miller. Couldn't get it.
And that shot was missed because of Leonard.
Yep.
He could have taken it on the right side.
And Hannes came away with the board. Jones is going to force it, and he'll go to the free throw line. I tell you what, it's a joy just watching Robert Kaufman, who's about 5 feet to our right. He is very animated when it comes to every play in this game. He reminds me of a young Lee Hall before, Lee found himself. I don't know, found himself doing what. But
7 for 8 for Ben Jones from the line.
That's short. You can tell when it left, and Ben a little unhappy with himself. Here comes some fresh bodies. Checking in is Jerry Humphrey.
Jerry transferred in from Homewood Flossmoor, and A huge body, looks like a football player to me.
Austin Seiler also checking in.
You can't see this, but Ben Jones is about 4 inches behind the free throw line. I think if he stepped in a little closer, well, I mean, he makes 80% of the shots. What am I talking about? But he is about 15-6 from the line, from the basket.
Adams and Miller. When it comes crunch time, they usually put up the shot. Look at that thing. That would have been blocked by 2 people. It's on the floor. What's the call? No call. They let it go. And here comes the Maroons with a chance to tie with a 3. It is there. It's short. Rebound, though, by Dirks. Everybody kind of looked at the 3, but Dirks kept working. 1-point game. Plenty of time left. 6 minutes here in the 4th quarter. Oh, that's pretty, but it's shy. Adams misses, and the foul is on Leonard, or I should say against Leonard. It looked like he got shoved out low, and Leonard will come down with a 1-on-1 and a chance to give his team the lead over that man's team, Gary London. Wow, well, you know, you said moments ago, you couldn't help but feel the momentum for the Robinson Maroons and how things are working for them. Trying to upset the #1 team in the state.
I don't think Coach Kaufman has to motivate this team anymore. I mean, they are in a ball game right now.
We got a long way to go. Are we tied? In and out.
Big miss there.
Miller against everybody. Had it knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Robinson. Will?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Dominique Walls coming back in the game, Jim, so you get a little momentum back on Hale's side.
Armstead feeding it to Miller. Turn around. No. Rebound Leonard. Again with a chance to take the lead is Robinson. Boy, that thing hung on the rim for a while. Oh, great defense again by Armstead. He's going to go up against the big man and hit it.
Wow.
How did he hit it? What an angle.
I'm just surprised Jones is handling the ball so much from him right now. He's just a very average ball handler.
Jones with a bad shot. And this last couple of seconds, Hales Franciscan has grabbed the momentum back. Miller. Tip. No. Hannes there. Is he fouled? No. Jump ball. It will belong to Robinson.
Coach Leonard's got to watch his timeouts. He only has 2 left. He's going to get a TB timeout in 7 seconds. But I think he might have been close to calling one there.
I'd say that was a highlight at the other end, going up against a 7-footer. And Leonard floated back away from him somewhat to avoid contact, but still, when you're hanging in midair and you float one over your head and bang it home in a semifinal game, you got game.
I like my chances right here.
Oh, bad pass.
That's a float pass again, Jim. He just can't do that. He's going to have to learn this. You just can't do it against great competition.
That was Ricardo Martin giving his body up.
Those passes may make them mark in the Apollo Conference, but they're not going to make it here in the state championships.
Yeah, it's like throwing deep against great DBs. You know that if you don't get it out there ahead of them, they're going to have that makeup speed.
Right.
Dirks in some trouble. And they threw it away, but Shamlin gets it back. Feeds it to Leonard, and that's going to be a foul to boot, and we're a point away from a 52-all tie. Watch this, folks.
Once again, Shamlin gives it up. He had a shot. He gives it up to Leonard, and that's where the bread's buttered on.
And that was, again, a play that was breaking down. Shamlin found himself with the ball and was wise enough to look like he was shooting it, but basically giving it up to number 32, who is 15 feet away from a tie ball game.
I see Dominique Walls coming in here at this timeout.
Don't go away, folks. We'll be back after these local messages. What a game.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented for the exclusive entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Illinois High School Association and cost broadcast sales is strictly prohibited.
I don't know if Robert Kaufman knew it, but Lee was in his huddle. What's going on in there, Lee?
Robert Kaufman's words to his team, boys. It's a 0-0 game with 4:42, and we haven't played our best basketball yet. Myers-Leonard, last words to his teammates coming out of the huddle. Let's go. We deserve this. Back to you guys.
After that last three, Leonard now with 13 points, and there's a steal out front. Hales gets it ahead. No! But to the line will go, and that could have been dangerous. Myers-Leonard in the air. Check it out.
Yep. Take a look at this. A nice pass, nice lead pass. Pretty hard foul. Leonard going to the line for two. Now, that's the 10th foul for Hales Franciscans. For the rest of this ball game, the Maroons are going to be shooting two, and here's Dominique Walls coming back in the game.
Takes the pressure off the one-on-one, doesn't it?
Sure as heck does.
The lead is Robinson's for the second time tonight.
Now, this is a big advantage for Hales Franciscan. Walls coming in over Humphrey. But as you said, Walls has 4 fouls.
Cody Shamblin will set down, but boy, did he light a fire, didn't he?
Played well off the bench for him. He is a hustler.
Hales Franciscan now looking for the Spartan nickname that they are. They need that kind of comeback feel down by 2.
Robinson 19 for 24 from the line too, Jim. That's going to play a huge role down the stretch.
There's a nice pass inside to Miller, and he is fouled before he could get that airborne.
He got fouled twice there. I don't know if they're going to call 2 fouls on Hanners or not, but he got fouled before that.
There will be no free throw
So
on
silent.
that. Only the 3rd team foul.
It's taken Miller and Adams 37 shots to get 28 points. That's a lot of shots.
37 shots and 11 field goals.
Right.
That's right around 30%. Miller with the head fake. Hangs, hits,
Boy,
and we're tied.
What a lift he's got. What a great jump shooter he is.
And like all great shooters, he forgets about what has transpired before. He believes in himself. And that's why we're tied at 54. Jones, who really kept his team in it in the first half. Walls is in the game, but right now he's over on Dirks. Hannes wants a 3. No. Good screen out. Here comes Armstead. He gets it on down to Adams. And we are back to a 2-point Hales Franciscan lead.
And a good move by Coach Leonard to put Walls on Dirks.
Jones was alone. Look at Armstead. He is unbelievable how he goes after the basketball, and now he's a little shaken up. It'll be all right.
We're going to see this again here. Again, Jones not protecting the ball particularly well, but it's going to be Robinson's ball. Again, what I want to say there is Dirks is not a great threat, and so by putting Walls on him, you might keep him in the ball game for a while.
Eric Armstead and the Franciscan gang leading it by 2. We're back after these network messages. Take a look at the free throws in this game, and there is a vast difference. As far as Hales Franciscan, they've only gone to the line 7 times, made 6, but look at Robinson, 24 trips to the line and made 19. You'll take that any day.
Absolutely, and you know they're shooting 77% for a team on the season, and every foul now that Hales commits, every common foul, Robinson will be shooting 2.
And in the final 3:16 of regulation, Hales Franciscan has to keep Dominic Walls in the ballgame. I believe that he's really a presence inside, and I really can't say enough about Eric Armstead, because here's a sophomore who comes out and his motor never knows anything but 5th gear, whether it's on defense or offense. If he gets the ball on the defensive end, it's down on the offensive end. Lee, what you got?
And eavesdropping again. Gary London wants his offense to start with a layup. He says, I don't want a jump shot. I don't want a jump shot in the lane. I want a layup. So get a little bit conservative here and just really wanting that from his offense right now, guys.
And they do steal off the inbounds. Here comes Miller with the finish on the left hand. Didn't do it, but it's finished by Ricardo Martin.
He made that a lot harder shot than he should have, Jim. He had a right-handed layup. Made that a lot harder.
I think he felt that maybe Myers Leonard was looming. Again, difficulty out front. Hannes takes it, gets it! Armstead took a swipe at it, but somehow Hannes got it to fall, and it's a 2-point lead by Hales Franciscan. Well, I don't know what you paid to get in tonight, whatever the level of ticket you bought, but you got your money's worth and then some. A steal, Jones! Trying to get it down low, but that's knocked out of bounds. As you said, any pass that doesn't get there like FedEx speed, forget it.
Yeah, you got to put some zip on it, that's for sure.
Seiler will inbound, and that is no easy trick. So they go right out to the big man, Leonard. I tell you what, Derek Hannes has been keeping his team on the brink of a comeback in this entire second half. He's got 13 points, running the show offensively. They try to get, oh, there's a foul. Armstead got him on the arm, no doubt about it.
He'll be shooting 2. Let's see it again here. The high lob, Armstead trying to come in and get it, and he did get his left arm, no question. Leonard's going to be shooting 2 shots.
And that's the great thing about Leonard. No matter how good he becomes at the University of Illinois, he's already got his free throw stroke down. And sometimes when you're 7 foot tall, that just never comes.
I think he's got a body, too, that can get a lot bigger, too, as you look at his arms there.
Yeah, he could go 260 easy. How about that touch?
20 for 25 from the line. That's 80%. This team's been a tremendous free throw shooting team all season long. I think you're going to see the ball in the hands of Adams and Miller a lot, Jim. They just have to be. They have to ride them. The two best guards that I've seen in this level in a long time playing on the same backcourt.
As in the first game, it might have been justified for an OT. This one might be headed that same way. All tied up at 58 as we get under the 2-minute mark. Armstead in a hurry, and he walks. Well, sometimes when you're a sophomore, you do those things. But he has contributed mightily to this game. And now let's see how Ben Jones and his mates want to play it. Remember, Hales Franciscan is so aggressive, hanging onto the ball is very difficult for any team. They would love to see Leonard with the ball down low. Can he get it? Jones is fouled. And if you're going to go against an aggressive defense, you better be aggressive offensively. Let's take a look at what Jones did. Coming at you.
It looked like a lot of ball to me right there, Jim.
Patrick Miller had his hands down, but hard to tell.
He must have said he blocked his path to the basket because I think he got all ball there.
Folks, that's not the softest rim you've ever seen. It's the softest free throw shooting team you've ever seen. These guys just put it up on the rim.
See where Jones's foot is there?
Yeah.
He's about 4 inches behind the line.
Unconventional, but it works. Robinson, 25-5, ranked number 8 in the state against the number 1 Hales Franciscan Spartans. And the Spartans are trailing by 2 with the basketball. Armstead wants to make a move. He throws up a wild shot, gets it back, couldn't get it to go. Rebound, no good by Miller. And it's gonna go to Robinson.
Well, it's going to have to be Hales Franciscan's defense that's going to turn this thing over because Hales' last 3 or 4 possessions have not been very good.
I want the ball in Derek Hannes' hand if I'm a Robinson Maroon fan.
I couldn't agree more there. Hales Franciscan is going to have to turn them over. They have not had very good possessions, Jim, the last 3 or 4 times down.
And remember, any foul is a 2-shot foul. 45 seconds.
You don't want him to be shooting if you're a Hales Franciscan fan.
Myers Leonard said, want to get a college scholarship. I want to win a state championship. I want to play in the NBA. Tied up or a foul. Foul out front on Armstead, Eric Armstead.
Well, let's take a good look at this.
That's kind of a mugging. I mean, if you're Hales Franciscan, you got to go after that basketball. But if you're Ben Jones, you get that frame around it, those muscular arms, and Ben Jones with 2.
Wow.
A lot of folks here in Peoria thought it'd be #1 Hales Franciscan against #2 Peoria Manual for the Class 2A championship. Manual did its part, but Robinson wants to do a little rearranging at the top.
Robinson was beaten by Tulona Unity. They were down by 8.
That's a big miss.
In the sectional.
Here comes Miller. Shot is up and not there. Armstead missed it. Rebound comes down to the Maroons with 23 seconds left. The upset could be happening, but they're still going to have to make some free throws.
Wow.
That's why we play him, Coach.
And you got the man you want at the line. If I'm a Robinson fan, this kid is just as cool and under control. He's an 81% free throw shooter, too.
And earlier this year, these guys played some big-time schools like Chicago Morgan Park and like Rock Island. Missed it. And Coach Kaufman said that kind of defensive speed, we had to see that.
Right.
And that obviously has helped a little bit tonight because they lead it, and here's a big one.
Now what Hales has to do is get the ball down, take it to the hole, and call a timeout. They do not need a 3. They need to penetrate, get a basket, and call a quick timeout.
Down by 4, Adams.
They
to
don't
Miller.
need the 3.
They're going to take it anyway. They're not going to get it. Rebound Leonard. This one might be over. This one might be over.
Well, we got a foul. We're going to have to check the clock. The clock has moved because nobody can hear the whistle. Hales did not need a 3 there, Jim. They have 2 timeouts left. Could have taken it to the basket. This game's not over, but I think we might have put some more time on the clock. I couldn't hear the whistle.
4-point lead. There you see Gary London not believing what he's looking at. I tell you what, Robinson just outboarded him and outplayed him inside. And the guard play for Chicago Hales Franciscan, their shots were not there tonight. Myers Leonard headed to the University of Illinois, but first he wants to head to the state championship game.
Well, I think very few in the crowd, other than the Robinson faithful, thought this would happen, and you got to give Robinson credit. They've been behind in every single game in this tournament, starting with the sectional, and they're going to play for a state championship.
6-point lead. Robert Kaufman and his team celebrating because you can pretty much let them go down and score a layup. It's over.
Well, Hales does have 1 timeout left, but they do need 2 threes. So a layup will do Hales no good.
True.
Hales is going to have to get a 3-point shot and then stop the clock. That's right.
And it's going to take 3 to 4 seconds to get that baby off. And well, we've seen stranger things, but boy, what a gutsy game by the Robinson Maroons against a very talented Hales Franciscan Spartans. But just look at the shooting.
Now from the field, Hales has 52 points and Robinson has 37. So Hales has outscored him by 15 points from the field, but Robinson has outscored him by 21 points from the free throw line.
Hales Franciscan has gotten off 30 more shots from the field. 30, folks,
right.
And they trail.
Right. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Miller and Adams have taken more shots than Robinson's taken as a team. This is a stunner as far as I'm concerned, but like you said, who knows? I mean, this is why IHSA basketball is so great in the tournament itself.
Miller and Adams have taken 42 shots from the field. The entire Robinson team, 36 shots.
And Robinson's done a much better job handling the ball through the second half. Probably 7 or 8 turnovers at the most.
Leonard with 14 rebounds.
And Leonard and Jones are 24 from 30 from the line.
They denied him in the first half, but they did not deny the Illinois-bound Leonard in the second half. This will have them buzzing around the state, won't it?
Well, I think my wife would say this is in the bag.
Here's the pass. Armstead gets it over to Miller. Miller will launch the three. Got it. 1 point. They call a timeout. And let's see where they reset the clock.
It'll be 6:10. So I think it does go on the whistle. Lee Hall told me that, and I'm positive he's right. I think it's a timer thing. So there's still a shot. All Robinson has to do, Jim, is get it in bounds. That's all they have to do. Now, why wouldn't you, if you were Robinson, just have Leonard at midcourt and just throw the ball up to him?
Because remember, you can throw it the length of the court, but if your team doesn't touch it, it goes right back underneath the basket. So you got to make sure you get a touch.
I would have Leonard at the top of the key or between the circles and just throw it up, because no one can get up as high as Leonard can and the game's over. All Leonard has to do is just hit it and tap it.
Both these teams came in averaging 70 or 70 plus per game.
You got to put a man on the ball, Jim. You have to have a distraction there. And the one thing you can do now is maybe create a 5-second call, but Robinson has 2 timeouts left. So, you know, if they can't get the ball in bounds, I'm sure Coach Coffin's let his kids know, hey, quick timeout.
Ben Jones carried him in the first half, and it's been Leonard and Hannes carrying him in the second half.
Well, this is going to be a bitter pill to swallow for Hales. Hales has been so outstanding all season long, and this just has to be very disappointing if it comes out a defeat for the Spartans.
And it sure looks like it, but you gotta wait till that clock is all the way to 0.
Now they gotta put a man on the ball. They just have to do this.
The only losses of the year to St. Joe Westchester and Chicago De La Salle for Hales Franciscan.
They're not gonna do it. They're gonna just try to double team here, but I think all Leonard has to do is just get it up in the air.
You just want to touch. Throw it up high. They throw it under the basket. A little dangerous, but it's done. It is done. And Robinson has upset #1 Hales Franciscan 64-61. And it's Robinson against Peoria Manual tomorrow night for the biggest trophy of the year. And that's what a cool guy Gary London is. He goes out there and makes sure that everybody gets their just due on the other team.
These guys are such gentlemen, both teams, but this is a hard pill for Hales to swallow, but they're shaking hands. And, you know, you never expect anything less from a Gary London team, ever.
Franciscan led it by 4 at the break, but at the end of the night, they trailed by 3, 64-61. Well, you know, we've heard this a million times in sports, but you gotta believe, and obviously Robinson believed in itself. They were a little shaky against that pressure defense and those quick, long arms of Hales Franciscan, but that guy's team got it done, and I'm telling you, I don't know if Robert Kaufman will sleep tonight.
Yeah, take it easy on the coach there. All these Robinson fans beating him around. They need him tomorrow.
Well, Lee Hall's looking for the coach, but I just saw the coach go into the locker room. Let's see if he can grab Myers Leonard. And here we have the Illinois recruit who wants to win a state championship. Lee?
All right, Myers Leonard, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 13 of 16 at the line. They made it pretty tough sledding for you inside, but you got the job done at the line.
Right, yeah, I mean, you know, second half, I really started to take over. You know, our guards did a great job in the first half, and in the second half trying to feed me the ball. You know, their team's all about trapping in the full court. You know, we had some turnovers in the first half, some plays where we, you know, didn't execute, but in the second half, it all turned around.
All right, a dunking championship a year ago, and now you're playing for a state title tomorrow.
I mean, that right there is just an incredible feeling. You know, the individual is great, but now that I got my team in the state championship game, I feel even better.
Good luck to you tomorrow, my friend. All right, Myers Leonard, our Country Financial Player of the Game. Robert Kaufman, so excited he couldn't even stay on the floor. If you ever get some enthusiasm for this game, my friend, you'll be all right.
I know, it's just an amazing feeling, and I'm just so proud of these guys. They came through with a tough opponent with Hales, and they persevered and made it a championship game for tomorrow night.
How are you guys able to do it? I mean, the pressure is just relentless.
It was, but I think they stayed focused. They're strong as a unit, and that allowed them to win.
All right, good luck to you tomorrow against Peoria Manual.
Thank you very much.
All right, Robert Kaufman, a winner here tonight, and it will be Robinson against Peoria Manual. We're back after this local timeout.
The city of Chicago is stunned tonight. Robinson, the stunner, 64-61. Let's take a look at the stats. Brought to you by Menards. Of course, you can always save big money at Menards. What a second half. Both teams played it hard.
And, you know, Robinson took good care of the ball, got good shot selection. As you can see there, only 36 shots. The difference at the free throw line, 21 more points at the line.
27 of 34. They came in as the best free throw shooting team in the state, and they proved it. And let's take a look at the rest of them, Roger.
And you know, Hales creates their offense by their defense, so the second line almost pulled them out. But you got to give credit to Robinson hanging in there when things didn't look good for him. And you know, they're going to be a worthy competitor for Manual tomorrow.
And, of course, Mr. Hales will be back in that championship game. He had 14 big points. Leonard had 20, or make it 19. Ben Jones had 21. It was a great, great basketball game. Unfortunately, somebody had to lose. That happened to be Hales Franciscan. So it's Peoria Manual against the Robinson Maroons for the state championship tomorrow as you see the 7-footer celebrate. That'll do it for all of us here on the IHSA Television Network. Back tomorrow at noon. Have a great evening, everybody.